evening. I am Representative Gail McCann Beatty, Democratic leader in the House. From the beginning, the 2018 legislative session has been a session of scandal and with near daily revelations of alleged wrongdoing by Eric Greitens. Unfortunately, with Missourians' attention diverted by this sordid saga, Greitens' party used the opportunity to enact an insidious anti-worker agenda. The majority moved to impose unnecessary restrictions designed to make it more difficult for labor unions to effectively represent workers. The majority tightened the state's prevailing wage law, which will have the effect of suppressing worker pay. And incredibly, at the same moment, we are poised to consider impeaching the governor. Republicans eliminated the state employee merit system, giving Greitens sweeping powers to hire and fire state employees without cause and hand out nonpartisan government jobs as political patronage. In addition, the majority once again indulged in insatiable addiction to tax cuts to make Missouri's already serious budget problems far worse. On the positive side, we finally took long overdue action to address Missouri's transportation funding crisis and also took needed steps toward improving government accountability by passing the whistleblower and legal expense fund bills. But given the dark cloud that has hovered over the Missouri Capitol since January, everything the legislature has done so far this year will quickly forgotten as we move into special session on impeachment. This is not history any of us wanted to make, but Eric Greitens' actions have made it unavoidable. With that, I'll take questions.
One of the big priorities last year at this time was finding a way to restore in-home health care cuts to more than 8,000 people. That seemed to have gone by the wayside this year. What happened?
We went all summer with the Republican majority promising to address this issue. They failed to do it during the summer as they had promised, and we basically went through the entire year without that getting addressed.
What do you think the effect of these tax changes are going to have on the everyday person?
I'm not sure we know that. Will they get some tax cuts? Yes, but what are we going to have to take away in exchange? And unfortunately, I think it's going to be our most vulnerable who are going to pay the price for our tax cuts.
Lawmakers sent a revenge porn bill to the governor's desk. They've been working on it for several years. Do you think this debacle over the governor played any role in pushing that?
I'd certainly say it had some impact, or at least it would be pretty coincidental if it didn't. We'll have to see whether or not the governor signs it.
Has the majority given you any timeline for hearings and action during the investigation that's going to be launched now that the special session will start?
At this point, the only thing that I know for sure, there's a hearing next week that will cover the resolution, which will be filed, should be filed now.
The Attorney General's office today sent a letter to Auditor Galloway saying that the governor's office has no authority to hire private counsel, which was revealed to be paid $660 an hour between the two of them this week. The Office of Administration has apparently received one bill, the attorney said. Should the Office of Administration honor that invoice and pay it?
I think we have some concerns that taxpayer dollars are being spent and they should not be. And I think we need to be looking into that to see if that is the case. We have an obligation to our taxpayers to make sure that we are properly spending those funds.
At this point, while those hearings are happening here, is the plan to just do technicals and everybody's not on the committee, just on standby in case they need to come in?
We won't have technicals. We'll be called back in when necessary, but the committee will continue to do their work.
How long in advance will you know before the entire House has to get back together for a general assembly?
That is the decision of the Speaker.
What impact do you believe the tort reform bills will have on our court system and businesses being sued over injuries?
I'm concerned that all of the tort reform that we have done has been set up to really keep the common everyday person from having access to the courthouse, and it's simply made it much more difficult, and that's unfortunate.
Peter Beatty, when you stood there in January, you focused a lot about your priorities for the session. I remember you talked about a PDMP, wanted to see that done, and there were a number of ethics bills. Representative Adams had one, some others as well. Did you get any of those?
We did not see the PDMP. More counties are starting to join on to the St. Louis County PDMP. But still, we need a statewide, it needs to be done statewide. The public has been crying out for true ethics reform, and the majority party has failed to do that. And I think it's very clear, if you look at the things that are going to be on the ballot, that ethics reform is what the people want. And once again, we failed to give them what they've asked for.
Will the Clean Missouri ballot initiative accomplish the ethics goals that you want to see put in place?
I'm not sure that it's going to accomplish all of them, but it's a start. Okay.
You mentioned tort reform. There were a number of pieces that passed through the House that ultimately didn't make it through the Senate. Do you have any idea why?
Never know why the Senate does what the Senate does.
But there seemed to be less focus on it this year, on tort aspects.
I don't know. You would have to ask the majority leader over there.
Madam, there were some bills, particularly the prevailing wage bill, where they were saying that there had been some sort of deal struck with labor or other members of the Democratic Party. Your thoughts, or was that not true? Just kind of your assessment of how the labor bills that did, the anti-labor bills that did get passed, what effect you think they may have, or what sort of deals were struck to make them weaker or?
To be honest, I think the Democrats on this side of this building were very disappointed that any of those bills came out. We were not part of any negotiation or any deal, and are unaware of what negotiations or deal were made on the other side of the building.
Peter Beatty, any sense of tonight, what's going to happen, time frame, or what will happen up there? It's unprecedented, obviously.
As I understand it, it'll be relatively short. We will open up our special session. The resolution will be read, and then it'll be assigned to the investigative committee, and then we will probably adjourn.
Just describe to me, I mean, on Monday, a case being dismissed against the governor, here we are on Friday with this impeachment session about to begin. On a personal level for you, the feelings of, what this means for Missouri this week.
I think it was unfortunate that happened, but from the perspective of, as a member of the House, we have an obligation to determine whether or not this governor is fit to lead this state, and what happened has absolutely no impact on what we have to do over the next few weeks. Okay? All right, thank you.